This is my dream everyday carry 2024. I've been optimizing this every day for the last year in the background, and I think it's finally perfect. So let's talk about it. So it all starts with the backpack. This is the Gomatic 30-litre travel pack. I've probably been through 15 backpacks leading up to this one, and it is by far the best. It's weather resistant, so I feel pretty comfortable doing this, even when there is a lot of valuable stuff on the inside. It distributes weight really well, so things feel lighter than they are. But the single biggest thing is I think you'll be absolutely shocked by how much you can fit in here. You'll see as I unpack. So when you're crafting a perfect everyday carry, I think it's important to have some rules. These are mine. Number 1, every single gadget charges with USB-C. Number 2, there are no gimmicks here. Everything has a function. Number 3, function over form. But sometimes you can have both. And number 4, dark mode everything, just because it looks cool. Okay, let's start on the outside. So in the right-hand pocket, this is the Theragun Mini, a strangely shaped device that's basically the most powerful massage gun you can get in this compact form factor. And of course, golden rule number 1, charges with USB-C. But there is something else on this side. This is an AirTag. It's in one of these ultra solid, hyper rugged cases, and it's got a thick braided metal wire, so you shouldn't be able to cut through it. But even if you do, there's actually a second hidden AirTag within the inner lining of this bag. It didn't come with it, I put that in. But it's a really cool tip that I learned from my good friend Technical Guruji in India. That's proper two-factor security. So you've got to have a dedicated sunglasses pocket in a bag, because there's something about sunglasses, they disappear at the first opportunity. And you might be thinking, well, Aaron, that's a tiny pocket for a pair of sunglasses. Yes, but these are the Rove sunglasses. I featured them in my thinnest tech video, and they are just so awesome. They're basically folding sunglasses, but just with the thinnest possible frame, and they do not actually feel nearly as flimsy as you'd expect to, given that. And then the other thing in this pocket, and by the way, they're also felt lined, so these are super comfy pockets, is a pen, just because you sometimes need to write stuff. This is actually my lucky pen. Back when I was doing my high school exams, I spent a long time researching pens. I was trying to find the single pen that had the lowest friction coefficient so that I was as streamlined as possible while writing out my essays. And this Jetstream is like a $2 pen that does that, so I keep it with me everywhere now. And then, on the left side, this is the Chili Series 2 water bottle. I find the idea of water bottles having a Series 2 so funny. Next generation water. But yeah, the most important thing for me with a water bottle was making absolute sure that it's leak-proof. I realize it doesn't look like that right now because I dipped this backpack in water earlier, but it's also got a couple of extra niceties. It can keep cold drinks cold and hot drinks hot. So sometimes it's water, sometimes it's black coffee. It's got a really interesting lip that makes it weirdly comfortable to drink from. And then it's also got this rubber base, so it's not clanging around as you pick it up and put it down. We'll put that there. I'm trying to turn this into a really aesthetic unpacking. Oh, also, what's really cool about these side pockets is when they're empty, they're magnetized, so they sit completely flush with the bag. Now, front pockets. I realize how this looks. It's actually much more tragic. This is a bag of tea. I really like my home tea bags, and no hotel that I go to seems to be able to match them. And these are Milo's treats. I have a very needy cat. Oh boy. And a sub to the channel would be, well, delicious. To some. Oh yeah, other thing I love about this bag is most of the backpacks I tested, I pretty much end up filling every single available pocket. This thing has so many that I've probably still got like 8 spare. This was one of my main criteria when searching for a backpack. It's that when you unzip the compartment, it opens completely flat. And the beauty of this is you get to your hotel room on the other side of wherever you're traveling to, and this is your suitcase. And this actually opens completely flat like this, both in the front compartment and the back compartment. But I'm getting to the back. Front first. 4 more pockets on the side. I don't even know what to do with all of them. But I'm using the bottom 2, because one of them actually has something quite cool. This is a retractable key holder. So this is where I keep my backup keys. And what's quite reassuring about this leash is that I know for absolute certainty that my keys will be in this pocket when I open the bag. I've also recently come around to the idea of these key organizers. And then when you want to use them, you just swivel them out like this, tuck them back in. And on the other side is my wallet. This is a Pokemon Center X Fossil wallet, and it doesn't really have any redeeming features. It's just a Pokemon wallet. But there is one cool thing that I want to show you here. This is the Chipolo item finder, and functions in a very similar way to an AirTag. It's just the form factor is much better suited for slipping into a wallet like a card. Okay, this is where things get fun. So this is the Bellroy Toiletry Kit Plus, and I really like these Bellroy bags. The material is both very reassuring, but also holds its shape quite well. And the zips also feel really high quality. And this is actually what I keep all of my smaller electronics in. And it just makes sense because one bag keeps everything together. It means that you know if you have that bag, you have everything you need. And also airport security. This is all the stuff that's going to get you stopped. So you might as well get it all through in one go. So it starts with the Anker Prime power bank. This thing has a 27,650 milliamp hour capacity and 250 watts worth of charging power. I went crazy with this. This is very high spec. But the way I see it, the power bank is the center of my entire ecosystem. Every single gadget I carry with me can be powered by this. But also it can do some pretty cool stuff. Like if I accidentally leave it somewhere. How many power banks do you know that have a speaker built in? Oh yeah, but also there's another reason I went for this. And it's because Anker has a pretty good ecosystem. So these are Anker charging bases, and they're specifically designed to magnetically connect to these Prime power banks to keep them charged up. So this is the one place where we like to keep all the gadgets in the entire house charged up. And we used to do it in this really kind of clunky way with these massive bricks and cables sprawling across the entire thing. But because these charging bases have separate ports on the sides to charge your other products, all of our tech can basically be powered by just 2 of these. Anytime I come back from a trip, I take the used power bank, drop it on, and then I take one that I know is absolutely going to be full, and I just repack it. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful invention. This is the Momax 100 watt universal travel adapter. I didn't know this existed until a couple of weeks ago. This is your adapter and your charger in one device. So there's 4 ports at the bottom, which is the maximum number of things I'm realistically going to be charging at any one time. And that final one at the end, that's powerful enough for a laptop. And then here you plug in anything requiring a wall outlet. And that can be US, Australia, UK, Europe, and it turns it into US, Australia, UK, Europe. So this one product covers the wall charging needs of every single piece of tech that I bring with me. And you can also get a bigger 140 watt version, but 100 actually works just fine for the stuff I carry. There's yet more hidden zips inside of here. And so this one has my SIM ejector tool. Yes, I went for the Dark Knight. This came as part of a limited edition Batman phone. It's kind of sick. AirPods Pro 2, the only light thing I own, but that's because it's technically a Mr. Who's the Boss edition. They're not quite what I would call a true hi-fi experience, but there's not really a way to currently get that with wireless in-ear earphones. So from everything I've tested, this is the best combo of sound, isolation, but then also battery life. And so upon coming to that conclusion, I decided to last year get one of these made for every single member of our team. So everyone has the Mr. Who's the Boss logo on the front, and then they have their name written on the back. Oh yeah, and the actual AirPods themselves are also white and blue. These are the Zeiss lens wipes. I used to carry around a microfiber cloth all the time, but I feel like when your screen reaches a certain level of fingerprintiness, it just doesn't cut it. And these are the only things I found that do, because they're coated with a few chemicals that just instant wipe the dirtiest of screens. But I only use them when I need to. That's actually perfectly fallen into a really aesthetic position. This is one of my staples, the Spigen Arcwire. And before deciding on this, I did play around with loads of stuff more like this, which has multiple interchanging heads, like you can do Lightning, you can do micro USB, USB-C, USB-A. But as I was putting this backpack together, it became very clear to me that if you're buying good quality, modern technology, you don't need anything else apart from USB-C. And that really is such a blessing because it means you can just buy 1 or 2 really good quality USB-C cables, and that is everything you need. And so the reason I went with the Arcwire is exactly that. It's one very good USB-C cable. It's incredibly reliable, incredibly thick as well, as you can probably tell. So this isn't gonna break on me. It's gonna be able to charge my stuff. It's gonna be able to data transfer. Very, very fast, by the way. And also, it's Thunderbolt 4, so I can use this to hook my iPad up to a massive 5K monitor if I wanted to. There's a backup SD card in here, in case I'm a donut and I forget my main one. SD card adapter for the iPad Pro, which fixes the one key port that it's missing compared to a MacBook. One more USB-C cable, and then this. This is the ESR Qi 2 wireless charger, and these guys are sponsoring this video, but this is genuinely what I'm carrying around every single day. It's very light, it folds like a wallet, so it's a really easy shape to shove in a pocket or a tech bag like this. It charges up to 3 things at once, so in my case that's my phone, my earphones, and my Apple Watch. But then also, this is 2nd generation Qi charging. So the phone charging is twice as powerful as normal Qi chargers, and your watch charging is 4 times. And the really cool part of this is, look, the watch charger is completely removable. So if I just want to charge my watch without the other stuff, this plugs straight into the power bank. ESR does also do this really cool 3-in-1 watch charging set. Again, removable watch charger, which is very cool, but I think it's more for home than travel. And also this magnetic wireless car charger, and it's all Qi 2. Plus, ESR stuff is really well priced, so link in the description if you want to check it out. And the wireless charging is actually quite a nice segue into this. So this is my phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and the high-level summary is, I really like it. The battery life never lets me down. I feel like every single year, it gets harder and harder to straddle ecosystems. So using a Samsung phone, while most of the rest of my stuff is primarily designed around Apple products. But I have somewhat managed to save myself from this, because after that phone repair video where we went round and we basically came to the conclusion that the entire phone repair industry is a bit of a mess, I got myself a case. And what I really like about this case is that A, obviously it protects the phone, B, it has a stand baked into the bottom which works in both orientations, but C, it gives my Samsung MagSafe. So I can just do this. This bit isn't even sponsored by ESR, but that's an ESR case. And then on that note, this is the Apple Watch Series 9. It's not the best looking smartwatch. I strongly prefer the more circular designed ones like the Galaxy Watch and the Pixel Watch, but this thing has changed my life. Just like the AirPods, as a separate gift, we actually got everyone in our team one of these too. And we've been using it to create this internal fitness challenge where every 2 months we crown a winner based on who has achieved their own fitness objectives the best. And so this has basically become my personal accountability tool. I know that every single person on this team is going to be able to see what I get up to today. And then the strap I'm using is literally a 50-cent strap I got from a fake Apple Watch that I bought in India. I'm just wearing it in protest of how expensive the real ones are. By the way, isn't it already kind of crazy how much stuff I've managed to take out the bag and how little of the bag we've actually emptied? Now this is the second Bellroy wash bag. This one is not the plus, this is the standard size. And I got a brown one just so I can tell immediately at a glance which one is which. And yes, this one actually does have toiletries in it. And it's at this point that you can probably start to see my objectives with this bag. I am in the lucky position where I often get a lot of spontaneous opportunities come up. Someone will email me and say, Aaron, do you want to be in Spain in 3 days' time? And my whole life before I got this all together, that would stress me out. Because all of a sudden in those 3 days, I had to fit in running up and down the house, getting every single little bit that I could possibly need, take it away from its original intended position and put it all together in a bag in a way that it fits. But what is so beautiful about this setup is that it's designed so that if I want to go somewhere now, all I need to do is spend a minute and a half putting 3 sets of clothes in, and I'm off. So, hairstyling powder, I found that to be way better than wax or gel. I always carry around 2 individually wrapped hand sanitizers, just in case you go to a bathroom and there's no soap, or you cut yourself. It's good to disinfect. Folding toothbrush, which just makes too much sense because it keeps the head of the toothbrush clean while also taking up half the normal footprint. Sadly, could not find this in dark mode. And then one more cool thing about this Bellroy bag is a little magnetic latch, and behind which is the Gillette Labs razor, which is the best razor I've ever used because it moves in 2 different axes. It's got a little exfoliating bar, but also, if you ever end up in need of a little bit of self-defense, that went further the first time I did it. I have no idea why they needed to turn it into a projectile, but you just never know. And then just to show you how much other stuff fits in here, moisturizer, sun cream, mini mouthwash, antiperspirant, perfume. Oh, this one's actually fun. This is also a perfume, but it was designed by a robot and apparently algorithmically tuned to my preferences. There's a short on our channel where I got this made. Toothpaste, backup painkiller, and the last thing is my EpiPen. I have a very severe peanut allergy, so I always need to know where this is. Right, just before we get to the very back of the bag, there's 3 t-shirts fit in here, and I might as well show you because a few people have asked me. So I found these in Japan. The brand is called Theory, and they are by far the most expensive t-shirts I own, but the material is so high quality and heavy that I tend to wear these to even smart events, and also they barely need any ironing, which is perfect for something that you have to keep shoved in a bag. Shorts, which also double as swim shorts, so I don't need to pack 2 separate things. And then cargo trousers. I used to be a jeans guy my entire life, but as soon as this became a socially acceptable thing to wear, I was all in on it because you have like 1,000 pockets now. Oh yeah, and all underwear is in a separate middle compartment, but we don't need to review that. We need some more space on this table. Socks, underwear. I'm only putting this out because I'm trying to show you the sheer holding capacity of this bag. And do you want to know probably the single coolest part of it? It is this zip right here. So what you've seen up until this point is a 20-litre backpack, a very generous 20-litre backpack. You can fit a lot in there, but if I open this and it goes all the way around, this is now a 30-litre backpack. And the reason I've gone for something that does that is in case I also want to carry this. This is our camera bag. And for quite a while, we've actually been using this $20 Amazon Basics camera bag. But over time, as we figured out exactly the things we need and nothing more, we've transitioned to the Bellroy Camera Sling. There are some really cool things about it. Like, for example, how often do you see a bag where you can zip it one way, but you can also zip it entirely from the other direction to open it? And long story short, this perfectly fits everything that we possibly need on our shoot days. My camera, which is the Sony a7S III, the microphone, we've got 3 different key lenses. Oh, and this is the Aperture NC Pro. It's like a tiny little light that's an entire studio in one gadget. I'll just show you how bright it is. So first of all, that's crazy, considering how well lit this room already is with massive softboxes. Plus, magnetic attachments on the back. You can equip a softbox for the front, which massively softens the light on your face. You can also magnetically attach a honeycomb, which restricts the light to only shooting in one direction so that you can perfectly light yourself without needing to bleed into the background. And then you can do both at the same time. Not to mention like any color you could possibly want. We've got our microphones, and again, every single thing USB-C. And you might be thinking, well, Aaron, you got a camera. That camera's not going to be USB-C, is it? Well, hidden pocket time. So in here I have 5 spare batteries for our Sony camera. And yeah, these are traditionally designed to kind of slot in place in one of those archaic camera battery chargers. But also, we have found batteries that have a USB-C port, which means, yes, we can charge these using the same Anker power base that we use to charge the power bank and everything else. But yeah, the camera bag is just a fun little extra. And yes, it actually does fit inside of the Go-Matic bag. But we're not actually quite done with this yet, because this is the back pocket. Opens flat. And so right now in this back, I have 3 things. iPad Pro 13-inch, Apple Magic Keyboard, and the Apple Pencil Pro. And it's kind of crazy to say, but this little 5mm thin machine has become my entire workstation when I'm outside the house. It can do all of my laptop things, but also so much more, like idea generation. I'm constantly sketching things with this Apple Pencil. Actually, funnily enough, even the plan for the thumbnail of this video. Also, this is such a good Netflix machine for when you're on the plane. Plus, I also ended up going for the cellular model, so this thing has its own data connection, and I'm not hotspotting from anything, which just makes it faster. So yeah, the iPad Pro M4 has officially become my Mac away from home. But the crazy part of it is, the bag is so big, I could have fit in a Mac too. Let me know if you enjoyed this slightly more impromptu video, and maybe we'll turn it into a series. Catch you in the next one.